Hey guys, what is up? Welcome back to some more F1 My Team content here today. And first of all, before we even jump into it, I want to say a massive thank you for all the support, guys, on the recent episodes. Ever since, I believe, Azerbaijan, the last 3, 4, 5 episodes, the response has been really good. I've been trying to put a bit more effort into the videos and, you know, also the thumbnails and stuff. And you guys seem to be enjoying them and, you know, give me a positive response, so I really do appreciate them. Even though I don't reply to the comments no more, I still always read them. So guys, you know, I always appreciate those kind comments. And yeah, real quick guys, I want to plug the previous episodes. If you didn't see it, the Belgian Grand Prix, we got involved in a bit of a tangle. So if you haven't seen it, I'll leave a link up in the top right hand corner of your screen. Also, some of you may have missed it because I uploaded it about 10 minutes after Arrow did his season finale. So I don't think the response was exactly perfect. So if you guys haven't seen it, you can go check it out. But today we are here for the Italian Grand Prix, the last European round of the season, the Temple of Speed. And this race is interesting because this episode is a two-parter. What I mean by that is practice and qualifying, I filmed it yesterday. The race I filmed this morning, and this morning before I filmed the race, my game has updated to the brand new patch which has the performance updates. Therefore, in the race, the Ferrari powered cars are going to be a lot slower, but they were really quick in qualifying. So we're going to have a very cool dynamic here where the Ferraris lose a lot of pace in the race, and also the racing point is also improved as well. So if you guys are excited for it, drop a like on the video and let's see how the new patch has affected my game and my save here in my team. Here we go then, onto the laptop, and straight away yet another bombshell. So as you can see, we do have, it looks like, a regulation change planned for next year, and the fact it's been announced in Monza maybe indicates it could be quite a big one. You can see on screen we have no rain expected this weekend, so we've got a brand new patch, a regulation change on the way, and we've also got some upgrades on the car. We've got an ultimate chassis upgrade on the car this weekend, and that means we extend our lead over Mercedes even more, becoming even more than ever the strongest team in Formula 1. We've also got a major engine upgrade on the way. This is for fuel efficiency, so hopefully that will help us out in the closing races of the season. But at this point now, guys, we are going to start saving up some more cash and some R&D points, especially because, of course, it looks like there is an R&D regulation change on the horizon for Season 4. So we're going to see how that goes. As you can see, though, jumping into practice here this weekend, we're going to get to grips with the car and see what the pace is like. We need to respond and bounce back because, again, after the last weekend, after having the crash and, you know, having issues in the race, we didn't score any points. The good news was Hamilton, our main championship rival, didn't score many points himself, but we need to bounce back. So after practice, we went quickest of all on the medium tyre, surprisingly, which is something that doesn't happen every day. We then look at the results points, and we scored over 1,000 points once again, both between myself and Daniel Ricciardo. And we also gained some very small bits of acclaim, and we should hopefully be level 21 after the race here today. So fingers crossed that goes according to plan. With that said, though, we move into qualifying, more specifically Q1 here this weekend for the Italian Grand Prix, and we start to turn the engines up and rev them up to full power here, and we're going to see what kind of pace we have. Based off of practice, obviously we went quickest of all on the mediums, which is quite surprising. So I do think we've got some good pace, especially on one lap around here this weekend, which is quite rare for me. So here we go then, ending our first lap in Q1, and we run up to the line. We go straight up to P4 behind Ricciardo and Ocon, and that will be more than enough to see us through into Q2 comfortably, as Hamilton leads the times with a 15.1 for Mercedes. And yeah, we're comfortably into Q2, so no dramas there in Q1. We then move into the second part of qualifying, and I tried my luck on the medium tyres, but it didn't go according to plan. It wasn't terrible, but I was struggling for rear traction, especially in the first half of the lap. Really just not able to get the power down. And as the lap went on, I got more grip and more confident, but we lost too much time in the first part of the lap, I think. So here we go, running up to the line. Perez currently 12th with a 15.9. We cross the line, set a 16.0, which is not ideal. So unfortunately, that is not going to be enough, and we're going to have to head out again on the soft tyres to get into Q3. And to be fair, this was of course a very standard lap time. We crossed the line though and improved by 8 tenths, and we move up to P3 with a 15.2 once again, so matching our Q1 lap time pretty much, and that is enough to see us into Q3. Bottas this time quickest, 15.0 from him, and Hamilton surprisingly only P7, but you know, that's how close the grid is. You can see from first all the way down to 8th place, it's really close. And with that, we move to Q3. This was my first run in the session, and to be fair, we had a pretty decent lap. We got a little bit wide onto the gravel there on the exit of the chicane, which then gave us some understeer through the first Lesmo. But having said that, the lap was pretty strong, and a good banker lap here as we run up to the line and we set a 15.0, which is our fastest lap of the weekend, and we go P1, and that is 2/10 quicker, or 10.5 quicker to be fair, quicker than anything we've done all weekend long. So we're the benchmark at the moment, but this was my final run in Q3, and it was my best lap. So let's go for a full lap here of Monza, and I'll get back to you once the lap is finished. There we go, across the line. It's an absolute mammoth of a lap, and we are going to secure pole position for the Italian Grand Prix with an absolute stonker, an absolutely insane lap. You can see a 1:14.7, 3/10 quicker than our previous best, which was a 15.0. Bottas trying his best to respond, as was Ricciardo, and Pierre Gasly P4. Hamilton only P5, which was very surprising from him in the Mercedes ahead of Charles Leclerc. And you can see Leclerc and Vettel both in the top 10 in the Ferrari. That is about to change in the race, I believe, with the new performance patch, which I'm curious to see how much slower Ferrari are, and you know how much they drop down the order. But as you can see, we take the lead in the rivalry versus Lewis Hamilton. We then look at the acclaim, and we are just a whisker shy of leveling up to level 21. So hopefully we'll achieve that in the race. But guys, that is it for qualifying here today for the Italian Grand Prix. We're now going to move into the race and try and get some points back on the board.
We're back in Italy once again for another round of the Formula One World Championship. And what a great race is in store for us today here at the oldest circuit on the calendar. Monza hosted its first race all the way back in 1922. We're 12 miles northeast of Milan for today's Grand Prix at a Monza circuit where we can expect top speeds of around 215 miles per hour. 11 corners on this 3.6 mile track, with 7 of those coming in the form of chicanes. And with a good slipstream and DRS open, there should be plenty of opportunity for some passing here today. Anthony Davidson is alongside me as usual for the race today. Let's begin by discussing Daniel Ricciardo. That was a great win in the last race. Can they keep that momentum going this weekend?
It's always nice to come into a Grand Prix weekend on a high, but your expectations are based much more on your practice and qualifying runs. So it's the momentum from those sessions that they'll be hoping to carry into the race today.
Before we begin, let's take a quick look at the grid lineup for today's race. Martinez lines up on pole position, and it's Valtteri Bottas that completes the front row. Moving on to the rest of the grid, we have Gasly, Hamilton, Charles Leclerc and Ocon, Albon, Ricciardo, they've taken a grid penalty, Vettel and Lando Norris, Perez, Sainz, Max Verstappen and Kvyat, Magnussen, Stroll, Jack Aitken, and Antonio Giovinazzi, De Vries, Russell, Grosjean and Nicholas Latifi. Which of these talented drivers will come out on top today?
Here we go then, guys. This is going to be interesting. Breaking news, of course, and you would have seen this at the start of the episode. I'm recording this on a different day to when I did qualifying, and in between, the brand new performance patch has been released. So the Ferraris might drop down the order here, and the racing points could be a force to be reckoned with around here. They could really start to push on. So I'm really curious to see how the race pans out. Ricciardo starts in P8. He got a grid penalty, so I'm expecting him to hopefully fight his way back through. And I'm kind of expecting the Mercs to be a bit stronger as well. We'll see what happens. In terms of race strategy, we're going to start on the soft compound tyres and then move on to the mediums. A very simple one-stop around here today. No rain expected. Fuel-wise, I've actually gone for 27 laps exact, which is the exact same race distance. So no more and no less. We're going to kind of be on that mid-ground where I've got fuel if I need to use it. But basically, guys, I'm looking forward to it. Things might be a bit different in terms of results, but that's what we're here for. So let's jump into it and let's get today's race underway. Right, here we go. The lights are coming on. Let's get ready for the start of the race here. Lights out, away we go. Bottas getting off to a flyer. What a start from Valtteri Bottas. My goodness me. He's completely just walked past there. I could tell straight away when the lights went out, Bottas just flew off the line. Oh my God, I've been dive bombed there by, I think, Pierre Gasly. I had to get out of it. Yellow flag behind, I think. Bottas, though, look at the start from him. He's 2 seconds up the road. I had to correct my line. Look at this. Gasly on the back of us here. He's looking for a move. That Renault seems pretty quick around here, just like he did in real life. Ocon up there as well. Trying to get into a rhythm here. I've been really just bamboozled by that stunt. Here comes Gasly. The acceleration of the Renault out of there. He's completely just got me. We go around the outside, though, into the Lesmo. Gasly is still there, though. We've got to be careful and leave some room on the exit. And look at the acceleration. We're now going to hopefully pull him back on the straight, which we do. And there we go. We get back ahead of Gasly for now. But my goodness me, the acceleration of the Renault really caught me out there through onto the entry into the Lesmos. But Bottas has completely vanished. 3 seconds up the road. Where has Valtteri gone? What a start from him. We're on the back foot here. We need to kind of get going. Hamilton behind Gasly. Ocon P5. Those Renaults looking strong. And the Mercedes as well. No sign of Ricciardo just yet. But there we go. Lap 1 is over. Let's see if we can try and respond to Valtteri a little bit and pick him up a little bit and catch up to the race leader. But for now, a crazy lap 1. Hamilton may be looking for a move on Gasly behind. See if I can get into a bit of pace, a bit of consistency around here. Looks like Hamilton is stuck behind Gasly for now, so this is our chance to pull away. Those two are battling, so let's try and get a 1 second gap to Gasly and pull out the DRS. My straight line speed is very, very high, and Bottas will set a fastest lap, but we're going to take it away. I'm starting to pick up the pace now.
DRS will be enabled this lap. You can use it when within 1 second of the car ahead and in the DRS zone. Much
better lap, 1:18.0. We've got a 1 second gap to Gasly behind, which is perfect for us. Hamilton still can't get past. Now we're talking. Now we're in the rhythm. Now we're in the zone. Let's see if we can try and get onto the back of Bottas here. I can see in the minimap it's Ricciardo right behind Ocon at the minute, so I'm expecting a move soon. It looks like both Renaults now don't have that initial pace that they had at the start, and now Hamilton and Ricciardo are wanting to get by, so we'll keep an eye on it for now. We'll stay on board for a little bit longer, a couple more seconds here as we cross the line to pretty much match our personal best. It's really close behind. It could be 4 wide here. I can see in the distance they're 3 wide. This could get ugly. Let's stay on board here. Again, a bit longer. Ricciardo now making the move. Looks like it's going to be close into the brake zone. Ricciardo now to the top 5, it looks like. Hamilton up to P3. Let's see how that one shakes out. I'm pretty close to Bottas' DRS. I'm going to use a lot of overtake and rich mix to see if I can nick some DRS onto the pit straight, which I believe I have achieved. So there we go. We're now within DRS range of the Finn. Meanwhile, behind, Hamilton starting to open up a slight gap to Ocon behind. Reset a couple of purple second and third sectors once again this lap, and we've now got DRS on Bottas. So here we go. It's game on. Let's see if we can try and take the race lead. Also save a bit of fuel behind Bottas maybe as well while I'm at it. Ricciardo up to P4 as well as he gets past Ocon. So there we go. Game on now. Mercedes 97 Racing up front as always. It's going to be a straight fight here today. Here we go into the Parabolica. Can we get past Bottas into turn 1? Let's crank it up. Pick up the pace and turn the engine mode up. New fastest lap. We get the DRS and look at the speed now. 360 Ks. 363 as we go to the inside. A little bit cautious on the brakes, to be honest. Bottas hangs on for now. We have to go around the outside of turn 2. Trying to get that traction down, which we do. And there we go into P1 of the Italian Grand Prix. Ricciardo also overtook Hamilton there into turn 1 as well. So double move from both of us. That's what I'm talking about. Let's see if Ricciardo can break away from Hamilton and potentially catch up the Bottas here. Meanwhile, I'm going to try and see if I can break DRS on Valtteri. I think we're a bit too quick for the Mercedes here today. We've already broken the 1 second gap to Bottas. Also, Ricciardo is 6/10 clear of Hamilton, so he's pulling away as well. This is looking very good for us in this race. 7 laps in. We're in a great position here. Another great lap from me here, just showing the pace of the car. 3/10 up on my previous personal best, which of course is the fastest lap. We're going to smash that here again into the 117s. And the gap to Bottas now 3.2 seconds. Absolutely perfect.
Some information on Kvyat. They are out of the race.
Looks like we're down a car. But to be fair, I've not had a safety car in a long time. I've had a few comments about this. It's been a long time now since I've had a safety car. It seems like they've been patched out of my save or something, because I've lost them now. I used to have them a lot in Season 1 and Season 2 halfway through, but I've kind of not had any this season really. So yeah, looks like we're going to keep going. Bottas is really dropping back here. I think Ricciardo is pretty close to DRS now, 1.7. He's closing up to him now. This is looking good for us for a 1-2. Oh, okay.
Daniel's in the pits.
Early start for Daniel. I'm curious to see what tyre he goes for. Obviously we won't know, but I want to know what he's gone for in terms of strategy. We're pitting, I believe, next lap for the mediums, so still got this lap and one more to go, but this could be an undercut from Ricciardo to try and get ahead of Bottas. This could be a clever strategy from Danny Rick and also the pull away from Hamilton, as both Mercs have stayed out. Oh, okay, Ocon's actually passed Hamilton for P3. So Ocon, the man who finished second in the last race in Belgium on merit, is looking very racy again here this weekend. Also, that's going to affect Hamilton in terms of his battle with Ricciardo. Still no pit stops from the Mercedes boys, so it looks like Ricciardo probably went for the hard tyre, and both Mercs going to go for medium. So there could be a bit of a split strategy here. Okay, here we go. It's time for our first stop of the race. Very good first stint. Car pace is insane. We are so quick around here. It's absolutely great. Into the pit lane we go. Get a little slow down. No need to risk it or push it too much. You know, we've got a nice, comfortable gap. Let's see who pits as well behind us. Obviously, only one Mercedes will pit, so I'm guessing it'll be Bottas probably. No, Bottas stays out, so it's Hamilton who pits along with Ocon. Here we go. 3.1, that was a very poor stop. Luckily we had a nice gap, but that wasn't ideal. Looks like we'll rejoin and clean out.
Okay, stay clear of the white line on the exit. We'll receive a penalty for dangerous driving if you cross over into the track.
Here comes Stroll. Gonna push it on the brakes, just make sure we stay ahead. Crucial bit of clean air here that we need. There we go, we're ahead of Lance and Magnussen. The improved racing point, of course. So there we go, we've rejoined P5 on fresh mediums, going to the finish now. Lost a bit of time, you know, overall in the pit lane phase. You know, I was quite slow on entry, being quite safe, and then the pit stop was quite safe as well. So we'll lose a bit of time to Bottas, I reckon, but we'll make it up on this out lap, I think. Okay, Bottas in the pit lane, and the remaining soft tyre runners pit as well. So let's see how things shake out a little bit. Bottas on mediums, as expected. I'm curious to see the gaps in the top left. I want to see where Ricciardo is in amongst all of this, and if he did go for the hard tyre, which I think he did, that's what I'm fully expecting. Let's wait and see. There's Ocon P4, Ricciardo P3 on the hard tyres. Will Ricciardo undercut Bottas? No, he won't, but he's going to be right in his gearbox. And actually, there we go. Ricciardo has got him. There it is. Up in the second place, but at what cost? Because those guys there, those 4 drivers, they're all so close on track, so similar pace, but Ricciardo on the hard tyre, that could be a big issue. Well, at the minute, Ricciardo is doing a good job. He's actually starting to pull away slightly from Bottas, but the nature of the double DRS zone around here means Bottas keeps up. Otherwise, I think Ricciardo would actually be able to pull away, to be honest. Meanwhile, we're pretty comfortable. I don't think I'm going to beat my personal best. Maybe later on, once the fuel's burned off a little bit, if the tyres hold on. But for now, I'm just cruising. Now I'm hoping for the best for Ricciardo, to be honest. There we go, Ricciardo overtaken by Bottas. I knew it was going to happen at some point. Well, to be fair, Ricciardo is responding. They're battling away still. This is going to cost them time. Ultimately, it's natural. The car who's in front on this game, they use all of their ERS to defend. They don't save any. So at some point, Ricciardo will run out and he'll start to go backwards. So I think just a strategy really let him down. I don't know why the team didn't make him go into the mediums. Doesn't make any sense. Oh, okay. Oh, wow.
Safety car is out. Keep an eye on the delta. We need to keep it positive to avoid a penalty. Slow down. Maintain positive delta.
There we go then. Safety car. I talked about it earlier in the race and somehow I jinxed it. Maybe in the new patch they fixed it. The probability of it either way. We've got our first safety car, I believe, of the season. I could be wrong there, but first one in a long time. So we're going to save some fuel now because the restart is going to be hectic. Everyone's going to be running at full power, and it's going to be very difficult to pull away. It's a shame we didn't get that just a couple of seconds before. I could have actually gone to the pit lane and put some soft tyres on. But, oh well. Here we go then, safety car in this lap. Temperature's looking okay, could be a bit higher.
Okay, the safety car is coming in this lap. We'll be pacing the field in sector 3. Make sure to respect the delta until the safety car is in the pit lane.
Right, let's go ready for the restart then. Let's get everything turned up. Just going to wait. Preparing for green flag, that's the message we're waiting for. Let's get ready for the restart. Come on, let's go. Still in the limiter. Come on. There we go. For the second year in a row, we almost get screwed there by the restart the safety car by being limited to my speed, but we're away. Full overtake and rich mix as we get down to business here. We've got a nice gap. Look at the straight line speed we've got, even over our teammate. We're just running away on the straight. Now, I've got to play as tactical. Do I give my teammate a slipstream for the rest of the race and guarantee a 1-2 finish, or do I just bolt away? It's interesting. I am tempted to give Ricciardo a bit of help though. I might try and give him a slipstream so he can stay ahead of Bottas and secure a 1-2 finish. At the minute, this is working okay for us. I'm giving Ricciardo a nice tow every single time. I know I've got really good straight line speed, so I can afford to crank it up as of when I feel like it. I'm hoping we can just drop Bottas, really. That's the aim, if I can just drag Ricciardo along and drop Valtteri. But I'm also letting Ricciardo get quite close in the sense that I want him to be within half a second so he gets that really powerful slipstream. That's the best way to do it, at least in this particular scenario. Got a nice little half a second gap here to Bottas on this lap. Make at 6/10. That gap is going up a little bit on this one. Timing that slipstream perfectly. Ricciardo is doing a good job of hanging in there as well. Let's see if he can follow me here. Oh, here he comes. This is good. This is perfect. I can now turn my engine up. This is exactly what we need. There it is. Feels like Ricciardo has just suddenly cranked it up a little bit, which is perfect. Look at the gap to Bottas now. Now we're going. Now we're pulling away. Come on, Ricciardo. Let's go, son. Let's go. Come on. Look at the speed we've got, though. It's absolutely unbelievable how quick we are on the straight, but we're dropping Bottas here. This is perfect. 3 laps to go. Here we go then. Last lap of the race. We've done a good job of dragging Ricciardo with us. It's worked out to perfection. Giving him the slipstream has been exactly what we needed to get this one done. Here we go then. Into our Sky for the final time. Just got to make sure Ricciardo doesn't actually backstab me here and make a move on me, so we've got to make sure we keep some gap. But it's worked out okay for us. I can see the mirrors Ricciardo's following. The AI tend to follow wherever you go on the straight as well, so here we go. Parabolica. It's been a great race here today. We've recovered from a pretty poor start and a bit of a shaky lap 1. And we're going to come through for not just a race win, but a 1-2 finish. Yes, come on.
Absolutely awesome. Just amazing. Well done.
They made great use of the clear air today then and didn't allow anyone to exploit the slipstream behind them. What a great win here at Monza. Tell me, Ant, how did they manage to achieve this win?
It was a question of right place, right time today. We were looking at an entirely different race before the safety car came out, but they were able to take full advantage after the field had been bunched up.
The faces on our top 3 look so incredibly happy as they make their way up to the podium. A much-deserved victory and a brilliant performance from them all.
Yes, guys, there it is. The results are in, and we pick up a massive victory here today at Monza for the championship. Ricciardo comes home in second place, making it a 1-2 finish for the team, which is absolutely mega, and we managed to drag him home with the slipstream. Bottas in third for Mercedes ahead of Ocon. Hamilton P5 with the fastest lap here today on the last lap of the race ahead of Pierre Gasly. Lando Norris, Charles Leclerc, the highest placed Ferrari in P8, and the patch already taking a bit of an effect as Leclerc dropped from P5 in qualifying to P8 in the race. Perez from P11 on the grid up to P9. P9. Lance Stroll from P16 actually in the AlphaTauri to P10 scoring points. Great race from him. And then worth noting Sebastian Vettel from P9 on the grid down to P14 in the race as well. So both Ferraris going backwards. Verstappen only P15 today for the Red Bull Racing team. Magnussen against a few places for a Racing Point. And then all the Ferrari power teams, Alfa Romeo and Haas towards the bottom along with Williams. So yeah, the patch definitely noticeable for the Ferrari cars in terms of their performance here today. We look at the standings and we extend our lead as Ricciardo takes second place away from Hamilton, and it's a 1-2 for the 97 Martini Racing team at the top of the standings, and we lead ahead of Mercedes, which is absolutely mega. We then move into the constructors and we still lead, and of course we are now 92 points clear of Mercedes as the European season officially ends here today, and we move into the final flyaways as the next race is at Singapore, guys. But that is it from me, guys, here today for the race at Italy. We're now going to move into the laptop and put some more upgrades onto the car.
It doesn't get much better than a win at this track, does it?
It doesn't. You know, this is such a historic track, and I'm so happy to pick up the win here. You know, we've worked so hard, both myself, Ricciardo, you know, the team, and our engine was just incredible today. We had so much speed in the straight, and that's exactly what you want around here.
You and your teammate took the top 2 positions today. Have you got the best car out there?
Oh, for sure. I think we've done a great job of maximising, and not just on the straights, but the corners as well. And that's credit to the whole team. They've just been fantastic this whole season.
Well, looks like your luck has changed. Things went a lot better than last weekend, didn't they?
They did. I think the last race was a bit of a bumpy one for us. We didn't maximise the car. I think we had a much better race pace and qualifying pace around Spa, but you know, we bounced back this weekend, and that's exactly what we needed. And that's credit to the whole team and the staff, because we've been so consistent this year.
Your teammate is up on the podium today. This is a great thing for the team, isn't it?
Yep, that's what we're aiming for. We want to work towards this every single time, and that's just a combination of all the hard work put in.
Great. Well, that's everything.
Well, after that race, we look at the rivalry breakdown and we outscore Hamilton 4-3. So we are going to take the lead in this after this race weekend. Also, I'm expecting a big change on the Team Acclaim. Getting a 1-2 finish should mean we, in theory, level up to level 21 now. So we should get a bit more of a combined Acclaim boost, hopefully, which we do. And there we go, level 21. And Ricciardo now getting closer and closer to level 17 as well. So happy days. We then look at the cash bonuses. We hit all of our sponsor targets, which is epic. And again, just constantly racking in that money, racking in the cash. We also get some payouts as well. So happy days. And we're now over $30 million, which is a hell of a lot of money. Now, you might be wondering, why do we have so much cash saved up when we could spend it? And the reason for that is because you guys may remember we actually got a message not too long ago talking about the possibility of a regulation change next year. And the reason I'm saving that money is because I feel like we could potentially invest it in whatever department is going to be affected, and we can maximize it, whether it's build time, quality control, or resource point generation. I feel like we can definitely invest it in whatever department or multiple departments get affected. So, with that in mind, I'm going to just keep on saving the money up and seeing what happens, because in theory, I'm expecting the R&D regulation change to be announced at the next race. So that aside, we're going to jump into some activities. Now, we've got quite a long turnaround until the next race. So first of all, let's go for, I think, some reaction training. Let's get Daniel's pace up once again. Second driver press tour, we could try and get Daniel's Acclaim up a little bit, so we'll go for that as well. And then we've got 3 more days left over, which we'll use for either a chassis team building or a sponsor event fundraiser. I think we want to go for chassis team building, because also it doesn't take away from other departments, which is what I want to avoid. So there we go. We then move into R&D. We've got 3,100 points, which is a hell of a lot. So we're going to work on some upgrades. Now, looking at our options, we've got quite a few upgrades to make, but the chassis one is the one where I'm quite happy to work on. So we've got a few upgrades for the brakes. That's what we've got left now. We've done all of our performance-related ones. In last year's game, there was a bit of a bug where doing all of the brake upgrades made the brakes very sensitive to lockups. So I want to try and avoid that if I can. So for now, we'll just go for maybe these 2 minor ones. I'm not going to go too heavy with it. I believe this upgrade right here, the master cylinder, is the one that makes everything lock up like crazy. So we'll just go for a minor upgrade here for the calipers, which seems to be slightly more effective than the one after that. And that's it. I'm not going to spend any more points. The reason being, because we've got the regulation reset on the way. I think we're going to have to protect parts, so I want to make sure we have, you know, everything prepared for that. So let's skip ahead and move on to the next race in Singapore. We've also got an engine upgrade on the way for that race. You can see at the bottom the fuel flow regulator that should arrive for that race. So let's jump into it and let's see if everything goes according to plan. Unfortunately, the engine upgrade has failed, so what we're going to do is we're going to repurchase that, because I've already kind of developed it, so I might as well just put it on the car and get that on the way. If we look at the engine chart though, you can see Racing Point are now the strongest team on the engine side of things. Ferrari have taken a big drop down to 4th place. Haas and Alfa Romeo right towards the bottom. So it looks like Ferrari have done a lot of engine work anyway, even, you know, before the patch. On the aerodynamics, we are still top of the charts. Chassis, we are still top of the charts. So things are looking very good in that department. But yeah, we're looking pretty good. Ready for the next race in Singapore, guys. And like I said, I'm expecting an R&D regulation reset to be confirmed in this episode. We've got the money and the R&D points already saved up and ready to start protecting if that is the case. So let's see how it goes. But guys, if you enjoyed today's episode, then smash the like button. Subscribe if you are new for daily F1 content on the channel, guys. And let's see if we can try and hit. I want to try and go for 55,000 subs by the end of the year if that's possible. So any help would be massively appreciated. Also, check out the 2 videos, guys, on your screen right now if you haven't seen them already. But guys, that's it from me here today, and I'll see you all next time for the next episode in Singapore. But until then, take care, and it's goodbye from me.